Hello,
Can you
and
believe that
welcome
we
to
started
Cage-iverse,
recording
your main
right
man,
in the
Andy
middle of
Gillard here, hope you're all doing
2020
well in the
with
world
all
right
of the
now.
COVID and lockdowns going on around us, unable to meet up?
Hello.
So like many a young gentleman, we turned to the internet
Ash is
for our
back with us
entertainment.
again this week. It's part
Tried
two
to find a
of
place
our
where we could
half-time
meet up and talk about the
show
good,
of
the
the
bad,
evening,
and that
Ash.
time that Stu saw a
Howdy,
pelican
howdy,
on the
howdy.
canal. In order to facilitate our
Might as well get
dreams of
right
answering
into
all
it.
of
So
the big
we've got
questions in
5
film,
questions left
and after a
to
few
discuss
attempts at
about
recording
films that were
via
released
other
between the
methods
1st
to
of January
various levels
and
of
the
success,
30th of June
we found
2025.
Zencaster,
So the
a
next
super
question
easy
up
web-based
is
one-stop
something which
shop for
brings a
recording.
tear to the
Log in
eye.
and you're ready to record in a matter of seconds. It doesn't
I mean,
take a
there
tech
wasn't
genius
many
to get
things
high quality audio
on
or
this
video.
list, but
And on top of
it's
that,
one that we talked
the
about
one
a
time
few
we
weeks
have had
ago.
an issue, the fact that the
28 years
multi-layered
later.
backups are stored locally means
Just
it's easily
other than
fixed
the
all
last
in
fucking
browser.
5 minutes.
There are plenty of tools you need when you start podcasting, so let Zencaster take
I
that
thought it
headache
was
away, as
just
it offers a place to
beautiful.
record,
And
edit
the whole
and
thing with the
distribute
temple
all
and-
from one website.
Like we talked about a couple
Any
of weeks
lazy
ago,
bones Jones
it
can
was
pick up and
proper
play
movie.
and have studio quality
And
audio
if that had
or
happened,
4K
if I'd
video
watched that
put out
this
for
week,
the
I would
world
have
to
been a fucking
see
mess.
when
There's
using
absolutely no way
Zencaster.
I'd have been able to
Go
stomach
to
anything at all
zencaster.com/pricing
like that, at this
and
point.
use
So
our code CageFighting
I
and you'll
looked
get
through the list
30%
and that was
off
the only
your
one that
first
had
month
any
of
kind of
any
effect on me at
Zencaster
all
paid
like that
plan.
all year long.
We
I mean,
want
there's
you to
obviously
have the
films I've
same
missed
easy
and I haven't got to
experiences
yet,
we do
but
for all our podcasting and
as
content
of
needs.
the 6th of July.
It's time to share your
Spoilers.
story.
Um,
And now,
yeah,
the
28 years
music.
later. Just stunning.
Ash, what did you think to the ending of, like, try and keep it spoiler free, but what did you think of the ending of 28 years? Because it's,
Are we talking about the last 5 minutes?
yes, the end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what I said to you when I came out, because I think I watched it opening night, didn't I?
You did. Remember you bemoaning about it being 3 separate films, which I
Yeah.
think seem to have softened on now. Like,
Yes. I say when you're viscerally coming out and then you've just seen that last 5 minutes, it jars you a little bit because you're just like, because you've come off of the. I still think it is like 3 separate films that you go in without spoiling. You've got Dad and Lad, like that bit, superb. Mum and Lad, beautiful, like Stu said, and then the last 5 minutes, and then you're just like, okay, this has happened. I've just come out of sobbing my eyes out. Spoiler, it's my film that brought a tear to the eye as well. You just come out of crying your fucking eyes out at some of the most beautiful fucking thing ever, and then we're nunchucking our way through fucking in multicolors. It's like raw. I do like I do thingy the idea that we're living in a alternate universe and the horrors that He Who Shall Not Be Named has done didn't come to light in this world. I appreciate that sort of thing. It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll have to see if it pays off. I think we need to sort of hold back until the next one comes out because they got to have a plan for it. And I do think that Jack O'Connell's in for a big old year. Spoiler for later on in the podcast. But he could be having a big push for the villain of fucking the 2020s.
yeah, absolutely. So this is also your brings a tear to the eye film.
Yeah, like Stu said, I was scanning up and down. I did and ah about putting Warfare in here, but I think that's more of a personal thing for me because going back last week, boom, bad, sad, dad, dead. But apart from that, there's not really been. I'm just having a quick scan now. That much sort of emotional baggage in that way, apart from Bloodlines. But again, you can't really put Bloodlines in here just because of a 5-minute monologue from Tony Todd. How to Train Your Dragon was beautiful, but that's because of music. Whereas this was genuinely a beautifully acted, beautifully directed piece of cinema. which you can't often say for a zombie film. Well, they're not zombies, are they?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, look, I sort of struggled with this question too, and I'm somebody who cries at fucking everything. Like it's ridiculous. 28 years would have been the choice, but I kind of assumed that one or at least both of you would have put it in there. So I went for the only other film that had like an emotional impact on me, which was The Ballad of Wallace Island, which is a film by two comedians, Tim Key and Tom Basden, two British comedians who did a short film many years ago, and this is the extended version of it. It is a film set on effectively Craggy Island. Man who won the lottery years ago and ended up just moving and becoming a bit of a hermit on this island. But he loved this now defunct folk duo called Maguire Mortimer, which is Tom Basden and Carrie Mulligan. They play this former band. And they were once lovers and then they fell apart, and it's all about sort of their relationship and how Tim Key's lottery winning character brings them together without telling the other one that the other half of their band is going to be there. So it's a bit of a surprise, and it's all about this, about the effects that nostalgia has on people, about how, again, it's a lot about grief in this film, about the handling of grief and the redemptive power of music. The idea of reconnecting with another person and how that can be both uplifting but also really damaging to you as an individual. And there's also like some criticisms of celebrity worship, which I think is something that obviously we'll be touching on when we get to the Bone Temple 28 years later, because I think that is going to be a big part of that, and the Jimmies. I think that's part of it. It was a really interesting film. It was really funny. It was really sweet. If you like Tim Key, I mean, Stu, you've probably heard a few episodes of Richard Herring's Leicester Square podcast with Tim Key on.
Yeah,
he used to be on it every other month, to be fair. So I think if you like Tim Key, you'd probably get on with this film.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's one that has popped up anyway as a recommendation. Probably because it's been mentioned on here. The devices listen. But yeah, there's him and Bob Mortimer when he turns up for his once a year appearance on that podcast for no reason, just to be on there.
And they're always my favourite episodes as well. So. Yeah, it's like whenever Joe Cornish is on Adam Buxton's podcast, and like that's always the best episode, and it is every Christmas. It's brilliant. Next question. Give me something romantic. I struggled with this one. There wasn't really a lot of romance, I didn't think, this year, so I've gone with a TV show. I've gone with 4 Seasons, which I suppose isn't massively romantic, but it is about relationships. Obviously, it's about Tina Fey and her husband. You've got Will Forte in it, who I love. Will Forte, he's brilliant, and it's kind of nice to see him get front and center in a show. Carmen Domingo, he's just a man. Like, I just love that dude. Steve Carell's in it, fantastic. It was all around really well acted. It was a really nice story that it's based on a film. It's a remake of a film, but it was done across 4 episodes, 45 to an hour long episode. So they'd let the story breathe, and I think it really helped it. It was a really naturalistic exploration of relationships. So you could see that sometimes they are full of romance and love, but sometimes things are difficult. And I like that they didn't shy away from that. And even the tragedies and everything that happens within the relationships. I thought it was excellent. Apparently they are going to be making a second season, so I'm looking forward to that. Whether they do a second season with the same characters or they do a second season with 4 new, I don't know. But I think that's something that they could quite easily do. I really enjoyed 4 Seasons, so that's my something romantic.
Same. It was my answer as well.
Right, okay.
I was going to say, the real romantic story of the year was obviously epitomising Welcome to Wrexham and the fairy tale journey of getting to the championship. But
fucking cunts.
But no, we talked about it at the time, and your obsession with Colin Domingo and his coat in this series.
He's just cool. He's just a cool man.
Yeah, it's sweet more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the closest we're going to get, I think. Because romance is dead. Good. But you're right though. I looked at everything, and there is nothing else. I think that the closest. I mean,
First of January 2025 it came out in the UK. We live in
No. Oh,
we live in time.
I think that counts.
I thought you were going to say Nosferatu then.
Oh my god.
Which, I mean, that is a gothic romance.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I had to look at this because on IMDb it said 2024 and on Letterboxd it said 2024. But if you look on release dates, We Live in Time came out on the 1st of January 2025. So I'd sneak in that one in. And moving on, good. Yeah. I genuinely enjoyed it. Andrew Garfield and Queen Flo, you can't go wrong with them. They are both superb actors, and it, as heartbreaking as it is, it was close to being my tearjerker, but there was other liquids brought out, but for other reasons because it's Queen Flo.
Jerky.
Yeah, I saw it last year though. Is that why I'd completely missed that one? That's a good shout.
Well, we watched it in December on streaming. That's why.
You did, yeah. Fucking hell, but you're spoiling us.
This is like that film that's out now that people have been to the sent in the area. The horrific, gory, uncomfortable thing of the year. Bring Her Back.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I've seen that is like we get in a couple of 3 weeks, but it's been out at least a month apparently.
Yeah.
And the same with Materialists, the Pedro film, which I've been fucking waiting to see. And I think we get it at the end of this month, early next month. In fact, we're in for like 3 Pedro films in 3 weeks, I think. Doing well. We're eating well.
You see that chili superimposed over Harrison Ford's face, and he's going to be the next Indiana Jones now when they reboot it. And you think, well, yeah, why not?
Wouldn't hate it. Wouldn't hate to see Pedro in an action adventure comedy type of thing. I think he'd knock it out of the park.
Glen Powell.
So Glen Powell is like, he's going to be everybody, isn't he? I think he's going to be the next Mission Impossible man. He's going to be the next Indiana Jones, the next James Bond. He's just going to be everything. And honestly, wouldn't hate it.
Well, Pedro was in Wonder Woman 1984.
He was.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's the only reason I didn't hate that film is that Pedro was watchable in it, because the rest of it was kind of poor.
Yeah.
But he was enjoyable in his, over the top campness with that Maxwell Lord, wasn't it? He played.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason I didn't despise that film, because it's not the best.
No, I mean, you could have had the Rose and Fred West story on Netflix. When that was,
And that's a tearjerker.
yeah.
To be fair, I don't think we spoke about that at the time, but I did think that was quite a well-made series, because it did feel like there was stuff that you generally don't see in Fred and Rose West. Because let's be honest, living in the UK, Fred and Rose West, it almost feels like there's a fucking GCSE available on it. We know so much about that couple. It's so ingrained in our society that there's not a lot of stuff that is new. But I did feel like that documentary seemed to unearth stuff that we hadn't come across before. I thought it was quite well made. Yeah.
Yeah, there was, how old were we? I was 9, I think, when it all happened. So but you couldn't escape because we only had fucking 4 channels. So yeah, it was everywhere, every day for ages and ages about Fred and Rose West and that house, Cromwell Street and all that stuff. And I didn't want to watch it because I thought, well, like you just said, I know everything about this.
Yeah.
And I was quite surprised. Like, I didn't know about the other ones, like the family members that had disappeared. I didn't know that part somehow. But he took the Kevin's way out as well, or he was offed. But very, I mean, some of the Netflix documentaries can be a topic on its own at the end of the year, because there's been so many of them this year. I think I've got about 6 on my list already. And
there does seem to be, they've been doing ones, the poop one.
Poop Cruise. What a show that is.
Because there's a few which have all got the same
Train wreck.
Yes, it's Trainwreck Poop Cruise, and then they've got Trainwreck American Apparel. They're called for American Apparel. So they seem to have given it like this title. So I wonder if it's like a series that they're doing now, which I don't think is a terrible idea if they can actually put everything together. Because they're a bit hit and miss with these things, aren't they?
The one about the gig as well that went wrong and people died. That was a Trainwreck one as well.
Okay. Have they been worth a watch? The ones that you've said?
Yeah. I've watched American Apparel already came on last week, so I haven't seen that one. Or a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, the Poop Cruise was the one after the awful news of Giotto. I really couldn't concentrate on anything at all. And I thought, you know what? Let's just fucking put this on. And it's three of the most hateful cunts in the entire world. You'll be screaming, Andy. I know you will. Three of the most classic American bitches ever.
Right.
And they're just there because they're on a bachelorette party on this cruise, and they're moaning about some of the most inane nonsense ever. And it's just the way that they're doing it to camera, like no sense of irony at all.
Right. Okay.
Genuinely incredible. And I went on Twitter just to have a look, and you just put Poop Cruise 3, and everyone was attacking them. Who people think they are, and yeah, they're awful people. But apparently, it was a massive story in 2013. I don't remember it even being a thing.
No.
So just American Central.
Is it? Did you see Triangle of Sadness? The Oscar-nominated film where they're on a boat on a cruise, and I think they enter choppy water, and the toilets get backed up and all that stuff.
No.
Woody Harrelson's in it. It's really funny, to be fair. It's a good film.
It sounds like it was based on this.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I wonder if there's some kind of link to it.
Yeah.
You'll either really like Triangle of Sadness or really hate it. I'm not sure of which one, but I enjoyed it.
But Josh said that Josh Buckley, he knew someone who was on there.
Okay.
He came back, and some of the stories were horrific. Like it's a spoiler to go into to say anything at all. It's not even very long. It's probably about 50 minutes.
Okay.
But it's hilarious for all the wrong reasons.
I might even do that after we finish recording, to be fair. Super. Okay. Where was I? I completely lost track of the. So that was the something romantic, wasn't it? Okay. So the next question is, I want a film or TV series that has let you down. Ash?
Fucking hell, let's get the list out. Jesus Christ. Hang on. All right.
Flight Risk.
No, it didn't let me down because it's Marky Mark. Didn't expect anything. Captain America, didn't expect anything. Can't be let down if you don't expect anything. In the Lost Lands, Paul W.S. Anderson, didn't expect anything. Trash. Snow White, trash. Gunslingers, I wasn't expecting anything anyway. I can't wait for you to watch that awful shite. Until Dawn.
Oh, why did you expect anything at all?
Because I liked the game. And they got fucking thingy back, Peter Stormare, for me. And then they didn't even so much as reference fucking Rami or fucking what's her face?
Hayden, yeah.
Hayden, that's the one.
But Remy's on the wall.
Well, cool. Fucking A.
But he's on the. You notice though, he's on the wall, but he's not really. It's the CG version of him from in the game, because obviously they haven't got Rami Malek's likeness. Just the character in the game.
Fucking garbage. I was apprehensive as it is about what they're gonna do with it, and they shouldn't have bothered at all. It was trash. People walked out of our fucking screen. Oh, garbage. Hot shit, man. I fucking boo. I booed. Fucking trash, man.
Have you played the Dark Pictures games?
I have. I'm trying to see which ones have I played. Trying to see which ones I've played. Which ones are there? There's
Man and the Dan.
House of Ashes I've played.
That's the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've played the first one, Man of Medan and Little Hope.
Mm.
And
I played The Quarry.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Quarry is like the game version of this film.
Oh, hey.
It was £8 on sale.
I really can't go wrong with that, really, can you? You can't load too much at that price.
It I still a little bit ripped off.
Oh, is it that bad? Is the Quarry the one with? Is it Hayden Panettiere?
No,
Is he
that's
the one?
Until Dawn.
No, it's Until Dawn.
Oh right. Okay. Okay.
This one's David Arquette.
Yeah, the Quarry's like the red-headed stepchild of them all. It's not linked to anything. It's its own thing.
Okay.
Because obviously Until Dawn, you've got two VR spin-off games as well as a remake that's kind of different. But yeah, the Quarry was just a one-off thing made with. Did they say it was like a Stadia game or something like that, and it was just ported over?
That might
Yeah.
explain if it's shit, then, hadn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that where it was never intended for everything else, and they just released it everywhere anyway. But yeah, it was a bit bad.
What was the one with Nick Cage in? Was that Dead by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight, yeah.
I've watched some YouTube videos of the gameplay of that because I know I'll never play it. That doesn't look particularly interesting either. Is that what Until Dawn is? That kind of game?
No.
Oh, okay, right.
They're like
The Until Dawn's like a butterfly effect game, whereas Dead by Daylight. I'm trying to think of what game.
it's like Fortnite in a way.
Did you ever play the Friday the 13th game?
That's the one where he's chasing you. You just have to
Yeah.
run, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. That Dead by Daylight, but just without. They didn't have any IPs, and now they're getting IPs.
Right. Okay. I get you. So what's Until Dawn game wise?
It's just a butterfly effect game.
It's effectively like the old point and click full motion video things of the 90s, but it's not FMV. It's rendered.
Right.
So there is a bit of walking like Resident Evil, but a lot of it is your own choices have consequences.
This sounds like a fucking choose your own adventure book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, that's what it is.
That's why I love them. Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Okay.
You get achievements for or whatever you trophies for PlayStation. You get achievements for killing them all or killing none of them, getting them all out, killing so many. You could keep going over and over and over again, playing the game
And
again and again.
Is that the aim of the game, to kill everybody?
No, you can do what you want.
More alive. Yeah.
I think I ended Heavy Rain with three of them in my. I only played it once for that reason. I thought, well, that was my playthrough. I don't want to go back and get all the trophies or everything else. That was the story that I had. A bit like Heavy Rain. Like Heavy Rain was the first of these to do that.
Yes. I remember Heavy Rain. I played that one and
It's
played
like
one
that.
through.
It's exactly like that. It's
Okay.
like Heavy Rain, and it's like Detroit Become Human, and they're all very similar. And you've got the
So
branch.
they're more of a cinematic experience than they are a gaming experience.
Yeah.
And by the sense of it,
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why that everyone's like, well, why are you making a film about a cinematic experience?
I get it. Makes sense.
But they're only like 6-7 hours long anyway, so you can do it in a day or a weekend.
Okay, fair enough.
Gaming cast.
Do you want to let you down?
Sinners? No. The idea that Sinners,
Believe it if that was true.
the idea that Sinners was the best thing in the world when it was a Black from Dusk Till Dawn, was annoying, but that was not the film's fault. It was everyone else's fault. I still loved it though, before people start. And I couldn't believe it was actually influenced by From Dusk Till Dawn. I thought, this is a clear ripoff. And then he said, no, it was intentional. Now, the final season of Bosch was the biggest letdown for me. And I've loved that show from the very start.
Rave about how good that is.
Yeah, I've loved Bosch from the start. But 7 years and then 3 years of Legacy. A long time to watch something and for it to be absolutely excellent at all times, for being a police procedural that it is. And Legacy's always been like it was on Freevee. It wasn't even on Prime. So when it came over, there are clear ad break areas even for a show made post-COVID. So it's bizarre. So it's like it cuts, but it doesn't cut to black. It just cuts, and then there's a next scene. Exactly. It's a bit odd.
That's weird. Yeah.
So it's made for adverts in this era. It just looks janky. And especially that final season where you're going from one conversation with one of the characters, and there's like 4 different threads going off. And then you'll just cut to another one. And like, there's no fade out or no music cue. It'll just go from, because there's very little music in it anyway. Police procedural, you don't need it. So you're having a conversation, then it'll just cut. And then you'll be talking to someone else. And maybe for just 20, 30 seconds. And then it'll cut to something else. You know, what is going on here? It felt a bit rushed. And it's obviously not ending because there's hundreds of the books and he wants to do his own stuff anyway. But there is a spin-off from the spin-off, featuring a different character that he's going to be in it occasionally. I'll Titus as well ever doing new things. One of the people who does reply to you on Twitter, strangely enough,
he does seem like a good guy, to be fair.
He seems remarkably normal.
So was the issue the technical side of things, or was it like, what was the story like? Was that a letdown too?
The story mostly wrapped up as well as it could have done. It was just really tough to get through. It was just jarring how it was made, which was annoying after nearly a decade.
Yeah, you think by that point they know the formula, they know how to get it done.
Yeah,
that's really weird.
And it was always the issue with Legacy. Legacy was always not as tight as what Bosch itself was. But it was its own thing, so the tone was slightly different. It was more fun because he was a private investigator rather than a cop like he was in the main series. But it just left a bad taste, and it was a bit disappointing, really. But I mean, I'm glad it carries on in some form, and that character will still be making an appearance. I just kind of hope that it was a one-off, but to be the final one, it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, fair.
The answer that I've got is clown in a cornfield. The film is. Yeah, but the thing is, the film is, it is about a clown in a cornfield. That is like pure prime Shudder level nonsense. That is an anti-Gillard film, if ever there has been one. And Kevin Durand's in it. I really like Kevin Durand. I think he's great in pretty much everything he does. And he's so underused in this film. They have him as the mayor-like figure in this. And he appears maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And it makes absolutely no sense. I don't even think there's any actual blood in this movie. Everything is just sort of intimated towards. It needed to be a lot scarier and a lot more nasty, and it just wasn't. And then right at the very end, when they unveil the big bad of the whole thing, rather than tying off his story and giving you any sort of ending, he runs off screen to go and do something, and you never fucking see him again. It wasn't even he's run off and then he ran into off a cliff. There's no payoff whatsoever. The big bad guy just vanishes. And it's not even mentioned, because then the heroes of the piece just get into a car and go. And then we get a year later in the story, the big bad is never mentioned again in the movie after just disappearing. I can't work out if it's bad storytelling, bad editing, or if they didn't have the actor who was the big bad for more than 20 minutes, because it makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, it could be either of them, Stu. I assume it's probably that there was a payoff written, and for whatever reason, it just got left on the cutting room floor. But you can't have a character run off screen of his importance without any payoff whatsoever. It's like screenwriting 101. You can't do that. It was so ridiculous, and not in a fun way either. It was just You know, remember that film? Is it Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
That I didn't particularly like, but you did. This is that, but much worse. Because at least that had a payoff to it. This doesn't even have a payoff. What's the point in making a horror film with villains if you're not going to give me a payoff? Pathetic. It was terrible. Did either of you go and see this one?
Nope.
Good.
No.
Oh, of course you didn't, Ash. Forgot, yeah. That first word so it kind of precludes you from going, doesn't it?
I mean, for this reason that it seems to be trying too hard, even from the name.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's it. They were trying to lean into the tropes of it so hard that it just completely missed the point, I think.
Yeah.
Right, question 9. A film you couldn't fit in anywhere else. So any of the answers to any of the questions we've had over this week and last week. Is there just another film that you wanted to talk about that you haven't had chance to yet? Stu?
There's what I was gonna say about how Captain America wasn't terrible, but it kind of was. No. And there's one other that's the next answer. Daredevil Born Again was way better than it should deserve to be, and it was expected to be. It was very much a return to form of what Daredevil was in the first 2 seasons on Netflix for me. No, again, buried. No one talked about it after the fact. It's been a few weeks now. I haven't even got to Ironheart yet. No, I know, no rush. I'll do it before we go to watch Fantastic Four, just to be chronologically right. Not that it matters, but still. But yeah, I thought Daredevil was excellent.
I'm interested to see. I'll be interested to see what you think of episode 6 of Ironheart.
I mean, I don't even like. I've never been. It's the one that as soon as it was announced, not just because it's a black girl before people start. It just doesn't appeal to me at all. But it's. I can't quit now. It's been. I have to.
You can, Stu. It's quite easy. It turns out.
No, I have to power through. I'll get it done. I might just watch it all on the plane. That might be the best option. But
Hang on. I'm gonna send Andy what happens in the epics just to see what his reaction is without spoiling it.
Oh, he's not going to watch it, is he? So it doesn't really.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me, does it? The fuck?
Yeah. So are they?
That's something, I suppose.
Are they in their reach?
No, about 45 minutes. Some of them around 35 to 55 minutes each.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah, I'll watch that. I might watch that on the way to America. This is one go. The real answer, other than this silliness, is we haven't talked about it at all. The Surfer. What film that was?
Yeah, really enjoyed that movie.
It's in my top 5 of the year. No, never. I mean, it could have been in the underestimated, beat your expectations, all that kind of thing. It could have been in quite a few categories in here, but it didn't quite fit. And I thought, well, it needs its own place. And having no expectation at all, going to watch something that was not what we're expecting, and coming out with that outcome, and again, the tragic death of Julian Moore last week. Just timely. Just go and watch The Surfer. Yeah, it's Nicolas Cage. Being a surfer doesn't matter. It's an excellent film.
It absolutely wasn't the film that we were expecting it to be, was it? At all. Like, I did watch the first trailer, and then bits and bobs kept appearing, and it ended up being the most off-the-wall thing that we've seen in quite a while, I think. I really enjoyed it. I'm not even 100% sure I understood all of it, but I think that's what added to the enjoyment of the film, is that it did have those elements that were slightly off kilter, that you never quite knew where you were standing with it, and I think that's what made it a good film.
Yeah.
Stu, did I ask you what let you down this year? I can't remember.
Yeah, Bosh.
Oh, it was Bosch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's just when you mentioned Brave New World, because I don't think we've spoke about Captain America.
It was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. And I know that there is a lot of problems with it if you want to delve deep into it. As with all Hulk stuff, it doesn't really make any sense anyway. So just don't get. So it's the ultimate just turn your brain off first film. But to go from that to then to go to Thunderbolts in the space of 4 months was pretty amazing, because it's chalk and cheese how good they are in a sensible way. Brave New World is probably a 5 in a
Okay.
but then
Agree.
on my scale of things, it was not a good film. It was just it was what it was. I had a good time.
A film you watched this year. That was
Yeah, I mean, it's not one like Shang-Chi, which I actually did like, but I've forgotten all about it. There's bits of Captain. It's a continuation of the Winter Soldier series. That's all it is.
Okay.
And if you like that series, you'll like that film. If you didn't like it, you're not going to like the film. It's simple as that. Because it was just a big budget version of that series, basically. Whereas Thunderbolts was its own thing, and it was very good. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I know why a lot of people didn't, and I can't blame them. But I didn't have any expectations for it. I went in, I watched it, I thought, okay. Came out, I thought that was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was not great, but there we are.
Yeah. Feels like Jodie. It feels like Anthony Mackie's getting the Jodie Whittaker in Doctor Who treatment. He's getting served shit, and he doesn't deserve it. But
yeah,
it's interesting that they've used Harrison Ford for Thunderbolt Ross, because Harrison Ford is quite famous that he does not like doing sequels. So why would you bring in a pretty major character with Harrison Ford? Will he be back, or
his kids wanted him to do it, apparently?
All right, okay.
Because obviously they had no choice, did they? He had to be recast. So
yeah, obviously. It just seems like Harrison Ford seems an odd choice for it, to be fair. Although he did seem like he was having a blast in the PR stuff for it.
He was having a great time. And he's actually not the worst thing about the film at all. I thought he was actually all right. As a continuation of the same character, and there's the joke about the Tash as well.
Yeah.
Which just, there we are. It's done now. You're fully invested in him being the same character straight off. And he kind of is the mannerisms and the stuff with the spoilers for Captain America Brave New World. But it's proper Marvel villain 101 as well.
Right, okay. My answer for a film that I've just not been asked to talk about yet is Companion, another Jack Quaid film. I really like Jack Quaid. He's a very likable person. He's not the good guy in this film. And I think that helps that we know him so well as pretty much a good guy in most things. Bar spoilers for shitty Scream 5, but fuck it, it was a terrible film. So it's quite nice to see him subvert his star power. Like, we know him as a good guy. So he still plays someone who is the quote unquote good guy, but actually he's a bit of a shitbag underneath it all as well. He was really good in this film playing that type of a role with Sophie Thatcher, who was in Heretic last year, who I really liked Heretic. That was a great film. She plays a robot sex companion, I suppose you'd call it. But she doesn't know that she is a robot until a part in this film where things sort of diverge with everybody. And it ends up becoming a thing where Jack Quaid's character is trying to chase Sophie Thatcher and things go kind of askew. It was a really, I suppose it's a thriller, but it was quite light. I think, I think it might have been a 15, but that does kind of feel like it might be quite overrated, in fairness, because it did feel like it, not all ages, but I think you could get away with it at slightly younger than 15. It was enjoyable. It was good performances. It was funny enough in parts, and it was eerie enough in parts to keep you interested throughout it. Like you did feel for the characters. And it was not like we've had a lot of explorations about with AI and stuff, especially over the last couple of years. We've had a lot of sentient robot stuff off the back of, ChatGPT and all that nonsense. It feels like that's where the next lot of horror is going to be going down that route, I believe. So this, I thought, was a good look at it where we're supposed to be sympathizing with the robot. I thought it was a very interesting movie. I really enjoyed it, not least because those two particular actors I thought were fantastic throughout.
So this was like an adult version of Megan.
Pretty much. It's the characters are flipped. I think it's the only thing. Like, because but I mean, Ash, you've seen Megan 2, haven't you?
Sadly.
Stu, have you got round to it yet?
No, not the second one now.
Are you going to see it?
Yeah, of course I am.
Right, okay.
I like the first one way more than anyone else in the entire world. By the side,
I did not enjoy it.
I enjoyed number one
because in all respects, it should have just been the remake of Child's Play, and it wasn't. Like it was so juvenile and not in a funny way. It was juvenile in a you just haven't pitched this at the right level. Personally, I thought it's terrible. I thought it was a child's film. I hated it. It's a lot. They're so disappointed. Well, this one it's a sci-fi action film, isn't it? Like there was no horror in the first one. It's not a horrifying film at all. But this one doesn't even attempt it, does it?
No.
You were quite scathing, I think, when the message you sent me after it, if I remember correctly.
I did not enjoy that movie. I was very angry.
See, now, knowing that, going into it with that knowledge, would it make it better?
It might help, hadn't it? But to be fair, like, I do feel like, even though I've not seen the trailers, what little bit I've seen, it always looks like it's going to be a sci-fi actioner and not a horror film. It doesn't look like it was ever primed at that. I feel like Blumhouse have really shit the bed over the last 12 months. They've done such little decent horror. I don't know where they're going with it. They need something better.
Spread too thin with Blumhouse games, maybe.
Potentially. It genuinely feels a while since we've had a good Blumhouse movie. Because for a while they were the A24 of the horror world. And then they gave us Five Nights at Freddy and all those films that just didn't work. I mean, don't get me wrong, Five Nights at Freddy made money, but that doesn't mean it's a good film.
Jeff liked it.
He did.
He's also American now, so we can hate him again.
That's it, yeah. Oh, yes, it's the Tiger King Award. So what is the show or film or whatever that absolutely everybody in the world should be watching? So this is named after the Tiger King, which when the podcast started, the Tiger King was the thing, wasn't it? That was the thing that everybody everywhere was watching. So what is the everybody everywhere of 2025 so far, Stu?
I mean, it feels like it should just be adolescence, shouldn't it, really? That's the obvious choice. Well, you kind of stole my thunder, the Trainwreck series, because it's not going to get promoted, even though they are. If you click on one, if you watch one of them, they do all come up at the bottom.
Okay.
So it is like, if you watch this one, you may like. And I think that is a very clever way of keeping you in that world. Watch this mad shit happen, and then watch more crazy stuff after it, and then another one, and then another one. And they've all been, I mean, the festival one was quite tragic because people actually died. Poop Cruise was very much not. That was funny. American Apparel, I ain't watched that one yet, and I watched one last year. There was a bit more serious as well. So there isn't really kind of, you don't know exactly what you're going to get with them, but the fact that they are factual things, and because they're American, we've just missed them, even though they seem to be the biggest thing on earth, and yet it's just containing that one country. So the Trainwreck series, yeah. If we're not counting adolescents because everyone in the whole world talked about it already, watch Trainwreck instead.
Okay, excellent. Like they do sound interesting, and they all, as you've pointed out, that they sound like they're all of a different genre, each one. Which I
You know,
kind of appreciate that you get a different flavour for everything.
yeah, you know, like the untold sports story ones, like Brett
Yeah.
Favre. They're like that, but for normal things, not sport.
Super. Adolescence probably is the one though, isn't it? That I think has
Yeah.
got the widest reach. I think I think we spoke about on the podcast really that it is the one that adults and kids alike probably should see.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I was at that. I was at my son's under 14s. This is as well. 7-a-side football tournament last week, and there were kids there. Ref made a bad decision, and they were like proper having to stop themselves squaring up to the ref. Refs are kids as well. Refs are like 17, 18. Although they're fully like FA badged and everything. They're not just kids just off the street. And they were under strict instructions at the very start. Any reaction to the ref, you're getting booked in a 7-a-side tournament. And there was one, it was a 50-50. It was a bit of a shoulder barge, but it was on the very edge of what was probably acceptable.
Yeah.
But he let it go, fair enough. So then the next one, he let that go as well. And then they had to take it too far, didn't they? And he just got wiped out, this kid. And he pulled him down, he grabbed him by the shirt, lifted him off the ground. So then the other one pushed him over. And he just walked up and he just fair play to him. He just said, just calm it down. You're not booking you. Just calm it down a bit. And then the one who was the aggressor who should have been booked was proper effing and blinded at him. Oh, you fucking know what you're doing, ref. And so he just said, you're not talking to me like that. Booked him. And
These are 13, 14-year-old.
under 14s, this is, yeah. Under 14s football. And fair play, the dad of the kid pulled him off straight away. Said, right, off. You're not getting booked for talking to the ref like that. Off. And he was like, what? And he went, off now. Didn't come back. I thought, well, at least there's some hope. But it's just like I said to you at the time when we talked about adolescence, this actually happens. And this was in Smethwick, so it's an easy thing to say, but it's kids from all over the area. And it was an isolated incident. It wasn't all of them. A lot of the games when I was there I was stood up for 5 hours. So I didn't take a chair, did I? Because there was a bar. So I was stood up watching, and I was watching all the little games as well. And most of them were exemplary, really well behaved kids. But there was just the odd spark here and there of the bad eggs who were just waiting, like bottles of pop waiting to explode with a memento in the top. And you think, yeah, if this is happening here, it's obviously happening at school. And that's why that show is so important.
Horrendous. I don't know if you listen to Smartless, which is a podcast with Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes. Stephen Graham was on that 2 weeks ago in our time, so probably a month by the time this podcast goes out. That's really worth a listen, listening to. I mean, Stephen Graham's always worth a listen, but
yeah,
obviously in the wake of adolescence, he's been spoken very well about it. So I think I'd recommend that to everyone to give a listen to. Ash, anything to say on adolescence before what I assume is going to be our answer to this question?
Yeah, as I can only watch it from a point of view of a 35-year-old who hasn't got kids and stuff like that. But I imagine it was absolutely jarring for you, Stu, as a dad.
I mean, it wasn't as jarring as some because I've seen this before, and I knew it was more jarring for people who, because I think I'm one of the ones with older kids compared to everyone else. Like I think Price is William 8.
Yeah,
So 8, 9, something like that.
something like that. Yeah.
So a lot of us and our friends and everything, they've got kids in that age. Because the boys couldn't be contained, could they? So I was first set the blocks, and Ethan's 14 now. So this I've done this, and I've obviously got a step kid who's 22. So I went through this way before everyone else. So I've seen it from different stages of different lives and stuff like that, and it has been getting progressively worse. I was more shocked with how accurate it was. And that's exactly what I said to Anthony. He was like, this doesn't happen, you does. You'd be surprised how nailed on this is. And that's why it's so scary, because it is so accurate.
That second episode in the school, like,
Yeah.
kill them all. Yeah, I genuinely didn't think that it felt like that must have been an over-exaggeration because they were horrific. So, yeah, when you said, oh no, that's about right, it was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifying. Yeah. Ash, Tiger King Award winner.
I'm just looking back, the 29th of April episode, the summer 2025 preview. If you go to the end of the episode, the bit where I'm on it, what did I say?
You tell me. I can't remember. I haven't listened back.
Go watch Sinners, go watch Sinners, go watch Sinners. I told you all, it's fucking amazing. There's going to be something amazing to top it as my number one for this year. Beautiful, like one of the best films for IMAX I've seen. Just a magnum opus, possibly. Like, just give it everything. Give it all the awards. Acting, direction, score. Yeah. What do you want me to say?
You know, despite me mocking it early, because I knew I was just waiting to get a reaction. I didn't know it was him doing two roles. I had no idea. I just
You thought it was twins.
I didn't know, because it didn't even cross my mind, other than like certain parts where I thought, I'm sure he was playing the other one. But which one is he? And I was very confused. And then it came up at the end, and it was only in the credits I realised it was him twice. And it was that. But that's the thing. I kept away from everything about it completely. I didn't know that he was playing both parts. Obviously now I feel quite stupid. It's just him with a bit of a beard and hat, and it's obvious because they are twins. But it wasn't obvious because it was so natural, and to get it to look that well and that good, even watching the behind the scenes stuff on YouTube and everything else, the way that was done is a masterpiece. I've never seen it ever done like that before.
Yeah, same. Like I did the same as you. I avoided everything because I knew I was going to be seeing it. Ash had sent me a voice note raving about it. I think you'd seen it twice before I got to see it for the first time.
It came out Easter weekend. Literally, I watched it Good Friday. I watched it the Saturday. I went United away, Easter Sunday, wasn't it? I'm sure. And then Monday, I was like, yeah, we're doing it again. Free. Yeah.
And I think I saw it the following weekend, and I went to the IMAX Telford to see, like, I thought, I'm going to travel to see because I want to see it on the big screen. And it was worth it seeing it on the IMAX screen. Like, I almost fucking cheered when they did the change in aspect ratios because it was magical. It was so cool, like the fight scene when the vampires come inside finally, and the screen opens out, and you just get this sense of the world completely changing. Silly little things like that make such a big difference to a movie. It was a technical masterpiece, that film was. And the things I could probably give you every one of the questions that we've asked throughout the last 2 weeks. I could probably make an argument for why it's the family friendly, why it's the nastiest, why it's the. I could genuinely make an argument for every single one of those because it touched on all of them.
You sent me the questions, and I immediately sent you the message back. All 10 was Sinners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like it genuinely was. It touched on everything I like in cinema. You mentioned From Dusk Till Dawn. I wasn't a massive fan of that film because I felt like there wasn't enough preamble before they got into the titty twister. Like, it kind of just went from bumbling along to all of a sudden this is just the rest of the film. This gave you all of that preamble. It gave you that slow build up to then the explosion of everything, of Jack Connell coming with the other two, the racist couple that he meets, and everything throughout. I just thought it was so well made. The acting was fantastic. And the same as you, like, I didn't know that he was playing two roles. So when I saw him, and I was like,
but you both look like Michael B. Jordan. And then when he passes the cigarette to him, and I was like, but like how?
Yeah.
It fried my brain watching some of the scenes between the two of them because it was so well done. But it had to be both Michael B. Jordan, unless it was Michael A. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan, because it makes no sense how it was done. It was fantastic. The acting was tremendous. Steinfeld, I thought, was fucking superb in it, and Preacher Boy was just. I've watched that scene of Preacher Boy doing the music with all of the different ages of man through it. I've watched that so many times. I've watched it back, like, even though I've not watched the whole film, I just want to watch that scene because I'm in awe of it. I think it is just incredible.
I think it's the best use of music in film. I think it's one of the best, just how they use the music and how it's integral into the story, like the different aspects, and then the Irish music fucking sends me every single fucking time. Fucking beautiful.
Yeah, just love it. Absolutely loved it. Right, okay, so that is the first part of the podcast done. We'll be back after a short break where me and Stu will be talking about Nicolas Cage in The Cotton Club. Ash, thanks for joining us this evening, mate.
No worries. Have a good one, guys.
Welcome back to the final part of the podcast. It's me and Stu, and The Cotton Club is what we'll be discussing this week. But Stu, last week we did say that we'd be doing a retrospective of Nick Cage's 80s films. So we've got this one, which is The Cotton Club, and then next week we'll be doing something called The Frozen Ground, which is a 2000s film. And then the last week of July, we're doing The Boy in Blue, which I think is going to be the last film of the 80s. So we should be doing a Nick retrospective at the end of this month. We need to get thinking about where we would rank his 80s oeuvre. I know where The Cotton Club will probably be featuring, perfectly honest. Right, let me pull up the IMDb page so we can have a look what the blurb was like we did last week, because I think the blurb last week very much undersold the type of movie it was. I'm wondering where we were with this film a little bit more. Right, okay, so should go all the way to the bottom because it's quite an early film. So this is the film that followed Racing with the Moon. So we're looking at, they're both 1984 movies. So it is back to back, which is quite interesting. The Cotton Club, 1984. Meet the jazz musicians, dancers, owner, and guests like gangster Dutch Schultz of the Cotton Club in 1928 to 1930s Harlem. It's a Francis Ford Coppola film, so he's obviously working once again with his uncle. One of the writers on this film is Mario Puzo of The Godfather fame, and it stars Richard Gere. Gregory Hines is also in it. James Remar, Bob Hoskins. I kind of had some kind of hopes for this film because it's a good cast, it's a good director, and you know what? It's not a bad made film. It's not badly made. It's very technically competent. I was just bored.
Yeah, I fell asleep.
I'm not surprised.
Did the same thing I did with Room with the Moon. Downloaded it again. It's impossible to find. Watched it with a pair of glasses on my face. Do you think that's pretty hard to do, to fall asleep with that? And yet I must have done, because I looked up, had no idea what was going on, and 10 minutes had disappeared. So I'd either been abducted or I'd fell asleep. I don't know. And I didn't know what the Cotton Club was. Didn't know who Dutch Schultz was. I thought, oh, this is going to be all Tommy guns and fun. Capers.
That's what I was hoping as well.
And I mean, there might have been a few capers on the plates in the place, but it was just, it was the epitome of that word. It's not even a word. It was just there. I don't hate jazz. a little bit of jazz. I mean, obviously Jules Holland. I like Jules Holland. Jazz funk is funny at times. You can get in the groove. 2.5 hours of fucking jazz. No,
Just tedious, wasn't it?
exactly. That's the exact words I was just going to use. It was tedious, and so was the rest of the film. And when you've got that cast, you've got this subject matter, and you got Richard Gere with black hair, which I said this because when I went to watch that thing at the at Theatre 7, it was literally the day after, 2 days after I'd watched this film, and they were playing all like it was love. The whole thing was it was the ones who did that that rock musical before were just performing Pearl ballads. It was like a thing. But for Pearl ballads that had a music video, they show the music video in the background.
Okay.
So they did one from Pretty Woman, and so Richard Gere popped up. And
Fucking haunting, yeah.
a little giggle to myself. I thought I haven't thought about Richard Gere for a while. I mean, why would I?
Yeah.
But then I've seen Richard Gere, not knowing it was Richard Gere because he doesn't look like himself because he's got jet black hair. And then you got normal Richard Gere with his salt and pepper. And I said, and she was like, "What do you mean salt and pepper?" I went, "That's the look, isn't it? It's like salt and pepper hair, like it sprinkles, like grey and brown." But that's not a thing. You've made that up. I went, I can't be going that mad, can I? Surely. And so I looked it up. I didn't look. See, it's there. I went, anyway. Richard Gere had black hair in this film, and she went, I don't care. And that's kind of what I feel about this entire film. I don't care.
Yeah. There's a bit. So I think it starts off very slow and not really very interesting, but they introduce us to the characters, and you can clearly tell that James Remar's character is a bit of a prick. And there's a bit where he stabs that guy in the neck, and at that point I was like, oh, okay, we're going somewhere now. And I was kind of having sat through a lot of dullness. I thought, okay, cool. Here we are. This is the start of the film proper. And he never picked up again after that. You're showing us something quite bloody and nasty, and showing us that this guy is a dick. And then we just sort of get a lot of melodramatic romance nonsense throughout this film. Like lots of furtive looks and not much else. Like it just, nothing happened in this film.
The best thing about this film was the race stuff and the whole this is a whites only.
Interesting.
This is a whites only club. This is a blacks only club. Oh, you're going into what did he call it? White entertainment or something like that. When she wanted to go into Hollywood or whatever. And the dancing and the tap was the best thing about this film.
Yes, when he did Mindy the Mooch, which reminded me of Blues Brothers, so I'm kind of happy with that. That was good, and some of that, Gregory Hines, I thought was good in this.
Yeah, there was the technical aspect. No, tap's really clever. I can't do it.
No,
tried.
God, no.
Tried in drama and dance at school. I'm not
proper tough. Yeah,
I'm not fleet of foot. Can't be doing with that stuff, especially not now. But yeah, that was probably one of the shining lights of this film. All the tap and that kind of thing, and the racial division and that kind of angle of it all. But to be a gangster film, which I thought it would be, it wasn't a gangster film. I know it says there the characters of the place and the Cotton Club being the setting. It doesn't mean anything to me. So, and watching this film doesn't make me want to go and look at what it was.
No, I agree. I feel like there's elements to it that, had they been explored, could have been really interesting. The issues between like your Irish, your Italian, the blacks, all of those kind of, that big racial mix that was going on. If you'd have explored that, you could have done something quite interesting with this film.
Yeah.
So to then base it around Richard Gere and Diane Lane going behind Dutch Schultz's back, I just didn't care. Because everything, all the other stuff that they were hinting was going on was so much more interesting than what they were actually showing me. like if we come to the Nick Cage of it all, so Nick Cage plays Richard Gere's cousin in this film. I thought Cage was good. I liked that his character was a bastard. I liked the fact that he was this horrible racist shit that was doing all these horrible things, and he gets his comeuppance in the movie. I wanted to follow him through this film.
Yeah.
The fact that he was like C tier in this movie was very disappointing to me because he was much more interesting than anything else.
He was probably the lesser one, the lesser known at this point, and that's probably why.
Yeah.
Well, what was Bob Hoskins doing though?
And again, I kind of liked his bits, Bob Hoskins, if I'm honest.
Wasted.
Every now and again, he was all right in this, but then you wouldn't see him for the next 45 minutes of the film.
Yeah. Like, completely wasted. Decent character. But yeah, he was just massively underused. When James Remar was Dexter's dad. That's what I know him from mainly.
All right.
And again, that is the crazy of this. He was 31 years old in this film. It was made.
Fucking hell. All right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Look how old he looks in this.
Yeah.
And I thought, I looked at it. I thought, hang on a minute. He was in Dexter, and Dexter was 10 years ago. He can't be. And then, yeah, you look, and he was 31.
Good God.
So
Bob Hoskins has had over a decade of a career before he did this.
And he was a big part.
Yeah, he's got enough. Like, he's already done The Long Good Friday. He's not the name, but he's growing into becoming a name. He definitely needs to have had a bigger role in this. Very disappointed with this movie, Stu.
Yeah.
I like everything about it sounds like it should have been decent. Like when you look at the keywords that it uses on IMDb, gangster, showbiz drama, crime, drama, music. That's a recipe for a kind of film that I'm probably going to like. Throwing the Francis Ford Coppola of it, Nick Cage is there, Mario Puzo, Richard Gere, like an early Lawrence Fishburne role.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot here going for it that makes this sound like it should be a good film.
I've never ever seen Lawrence Fishburne look intimidating before. So he's always like a cuddly bear, but
Yeah.
But in this, he's because he's so slender, I suppose, and he looks quite moody.
Yeah.
Quite bizarre. But again, he was in it so little that you can't really judge.
No, that's true. He's also going by Larry at this point of his career when he very first started. But he changed from Larry to Lawrence. I suppose Larry sounds more like, it sounds a lot younger, doesn't it, Larry, than Lawrence does.
It sounds younger and older at the same time.
Yeah, I suppose it does. So yeah, this would have been post-Apocalypse Now, which I think was his big break, if I remember correctly. Where he looks very young. I'm sure he's like 16 in Apocalypse Now, if I remember rightly. But yeah, all of that, right, that's a cocktail to make, or that's a mix to make a very good cocktail, and it does not work. Because they focus on completely the wrong thing throughout this film. They focus on what should be the subplot, what should be the B plot. And then once that comes to a head, once James Remar's character finds out about his girl and Richard Gere, we get the payoff comes almost immediately.
Yeah.
And that should have happened 50 minutes ago. And then we get a bit of a street war. Just something. I was really disappointed with this. And I did have some hopes and was so disappointed.
The whole thing of him being hired as an actor as well because of his good looks and everything, and it doesn't really matter if he can act or not. This is a fun arc. Is this a real character? Is this a real person? Did this really happen? And yet, it was just there. And all the payoff was he comes back playing his little trumpet thing, wherever it was, and he's got a poster on the wall outside. That's it. That's the only change.
Yeah. Cheers. Looking on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's got a 76% critical score and a 57 audience score. So it is very much a
in terms of the audience, sort of down the line, people liked it and didn't like it, and not much in between on the sounds of it. I'm kind of surprised at the 67%, but when I'm looking at the reviews, a lot of the top critics didn't give it a particularly good time. Seems like most of the top critics didn't like it. Pauline Kael, who is probably the premier film critic of all time, especially when it comes to the New Yorker magazine. Coppola, with his staccato imagery, fragmented the songs and dances, knocks the life out of his performers. Yeah, I think she's hit the nail on the head there, because there was Barnett Cage, who I did think had some energy. I didn't feel like there was any energy in a film about the song and dance revival almost, and it felt pretty lifeless other than when they had the music scenes on there. It's very poor. Dolores Barkley, The Cotton Club, is an expensive fiasco that meanders through the 20s and 30s with flimsy characters and pointless plot. Spot on. Spot on.
You know what? I wonder if there's bits of this film that reminded me of Megalopolis.
Yeah, I can appreciate that completely.
And you wonder, is this where he got the idea in the first place? Because he said he'd been trying to make it for 20 years.
Mm.
And it's equally as shit.
Yeah. I probably enjoyed Megalopolis more, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. It stinks. Yeah. I don't have a lot to say about this film, because I just found it so underwhelming, so bland, and so lifeless that I've just got nothing. Apparently it took 5 years to make this film.
Like, everyone was asleep.
Apparently he's got a fucking record for this shit of just making films take forever to make. 5 years, and this is what they served up.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's not good. Did you enjoy the film? No, not at all.
No. Same.
We haven't really spoke about Nick Cage, so for the question of is he good or bad, I thought he was good. I thought he was the only interesting thing in this. He was the only actor. I mean, I think Hoskins did well, but he was limited. I think Cage is the only actor that came to this and tried to inject a bit of energy to the plot. His character was kind of wiry and full of beans. He was a cunt, but that was the character, and I think it worked really well. I'm going to say I think he's good in this. I'm going to say probably the only interesting thing in this film. What did you think of him?
Yeah, I thought he was good. I thought it was almost kind of hard to say because he's not in it that often.
Mm-hmm.
But like the scene in the corridor where he's trying to fleece him for more money. And I thought, yeah, brilliant. So what he's got to work with, which isn't a lot, which is weird. He's good. It's just bizarre that he, in the same year he does this, and a complete unknown over and running with the moon, and that's the one where he puts in one of his best performances, and this is not.
Yeah,
but he's still good. It's still on the good scale.
Definitely,
it's on the good scale in a very bad film.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, this film doesn't deserve him.
No,
because he's the only interesting thing I've got in this film. I definitely would have been happier to have had him as the focal point, but yeah, wasn't to be. If you enjoyed The Cotton Club, you may also like what you got, Stu.
You mentioned it already, Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I mean it's sort of gangstery. It's obviously musical. It's a lot more fun. There's a lot more energy there. Yeah, no arguments with that one. Baby Driver.
Yeah.
If you want to bring it bang up to the modern day, it's sort of gangstery. There's a love story in there. It's a much more interesting love story. There's a lot of musical cues in there as well. So I think that would probably be mine. The Town, one we mentioned the other week, the Ben Affleck film. Again, it's a gangster story with a love interest to it. I think that could potentially work. To be honest, I think there's a lot of better films out there that you can watch than this one. I wouldn't recommend this one in the slightest, to be perfectly honest with you.
I'd even say watch The Irishman over this.
Oh, any Scorsese film.
I'd even say Megalopolis over this. Honestly, I'd be avoiding this one at all costs, to be perfectly honest. I'm surprised that it seems to be what is the IMDb score? I think it must be a decent one if I remember correctly. It was nominated for 2 Oscars. Best art direction, set decoration, and best film editing. Right, where is it? Where is it? Let's have a quick look.
For those, to be fair, those nominations, I can kind of see.
6.6 it's got, so it's very middle of the road. Generous, but yeah. Yeah, for those, like, you wouldn't be nominating it for anything. I can see the technical awards because I do think it is a competently made film. It is technically well made. It's the story side to things that lets it down personally. Did win a BAFTA as well for best costume design. It's not something we ever really touch on, really, the costumes and stuff like that. But actually, yeah, it did look very. I mean, it's set in the 28 to 30. And it does. Everyone looks really smart. They're all dressed up in their suits. Everyone looks like they are period accurate.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no qualms with that winning a BAFTA for that. But yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that it's as well regarded critically than anything. But strange one. It is a strange one. Right, okay, that's another Nick Cage film. And the record books, what did I say we're doing next week? The Frozen Ground we'll be doing next week. And then we'll be doing the final Nick Cage 80s film, The Boy in Blue. So, yeah, make sure you've got those watched if you want to join us. I don't know what we'll be doing in the main part of the podcast yet. I will think up something for us to do in that. We've got a couple of weeks in our world, Stu. So,
yeah.
Right. If you guys on the podcast, you make sure you subscribe. And if you could leave us a review, that would be phenomenal. Socials are at CageFightingPod and emails to cagefightingpod@gmail.com. Stu, have a wonderful time stateside for the next week or so in our timeline.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm back and nothing happens to me. And I'll get ice. I mean, imagine that me, of all people, go there and get mistaken for a Mexican. Who knows? Yeah, it'll be fun. But I will be back. There will be tales, I'm guessing. So yeah,
Trust.
you'll hear them next week, hopefully.
Super. Lovely. Right, it's goodbye from me too. And remember, be excellent to each other.